What is happening? Welcome to the First Pitch Podcast, your morning podcast from pitcherless.com. My name is Nick Pollock. Today is May 10th. Happy Monday. And we are going to talk about baseball really quickly. If you do not have PL Plus, please consider helping us out. It supports the site. Everything that we do goes straight. Oh no. That's one edit. No! I got to redo it again. Well, I mean, it's not really an edit. This is just me restarting. It's fine. This is not an edit, because I would normally have to cut off the beginning anyway. Here we go. What is happening? Welcome to the First Pitch Podcast, your morning podcast from pitcherless.com. My name is Nick Pollock. Today is May 10th, and we are going to talk about baseball. By the way, if you do not have PL Plus, please consider getting it. You support the site. Everything we raise at the site goes straight back into it, and you get an amazing Discord, an incredible community, an ad-free website. So go to pitcherless.com/plus. Consider supporting us today. But news. Well, Luke Voigt, he could return on Tuesday against the Rays. Really good news there. Framber Valdez could return in June, so could Noah Syndergaard. Could Brian Hayes hit the 60-day IL, meaning he can't return until May 31st at the earliest. Colin Moran hits the IL. Kevin Kiermaier hits the IL with a wrist sprain. Kohei Arihara also was placed on the IL. He had a finger contusion. Jacob deGrom left yesterday's game after 5 innings with right side tightness. It's the same injury that pushed back his start in the first place. Hopefully it's maybe just one start or something like that. He can really heal properly and become, of course, the dope pitcher that we know he is. Kendall Martey could start minor league rehab this week. And lastly, Shane Green has signed with Atlanta. He will begin in AAA. I don't think he's going to be here right away. If you remember, say Craig Kimbrell signing before, it took him some time before he arrived in the majors. Scott Chu has yesterday's hitting performances, starting with Dansby Swanson. 2 for 3 with a home run and 2 RBI. Things finally appear to be looking up for the embattled shortstop, as he has already 2 home runs in 5 multi-hit games in May. The recent surge provides at least some evidence that Swanson can rebound to finish the season as a top 15 shortstop, though the elevated strikeout rate, and in particular the 32% swing and miss rate on pitches in the zone, creates doubt as to whether he can get his batting average above 250. Jock Peterson went 3 for 4 with 2 RBI, and while the StatCast data is extremely discouraging for the lefty slugger, his rolling expected xWOBA paints a more promising picture as it continues to rise above the league average. That's actually WOBA, not xWOBA. Peterson is always going to be a liability against left-handed pitching, and his streakiness can be maddening at times, but his willingness to take a walk and his ability to hit for power make him a useful corner infielder or fourth outfielder in most formats. And then there's Yermin Mercedes, 2 for 5, a double, triple, and 3 RBI. Man, what a story this is. And he has hit in 9 in his last 10 starts and 25 of his last 28 on the season. He slowed down a bit after his, man. Oh, that's the first real edit. Okay. I got to start the Yermin Mercedes. Yeah, that's 1. It's Yermin Mercedes. Now I'm blanking on his name. Yermin? Yeah, I think it's Yermin Mercedes. I'm just going to go with that. Yermin Mercedes went 2 for 5 with a double, a triple, and 3 RBI. Mercedes has hit in 9 of his last 10 starts and 25 of his 28 starts in the season. He's slowed down a bit over the last few weeks with respect to home runs, but as long as he's in the heart of the order on the south side, he's a viable fantasy option in virtually all formats for the foreseeable future. Thanks to his volume and bat skills, Mercedes is a top 10 catcher in formats when he's eligible, and it wouldn't be entirely unreasonable to think he could make a run at the top 5. Reliever update. Today it's from Eric Dadman. Rafael Dolis was placed on the 10-day IL by the Blue Jays with a right calf strain. Jordan Romano appears to have fallen back into the closer's role, but the carousel may not be done turning. Tyler Chatwood is another name to consider as someone who might step up into opportunities for saves. The Brewers deployed their nasty triumvirate of JP Fire-Risen, Devin Williams, and Josh Hader for the second straight day, allowing them to notch a second straight win and third win of the year for Hader. Williams now hasn't been scored upon in his past 6 innings of work, and the trio has combined to log 17 strikeouts and allow just 1 run in their 9 innings of work so far in May. And lastly, Brad Hand's struggles against the Yankees continued as he walked 2 and allowed the winning run to score in the bottom of the ninth against the Yankees. There was a silver lining for the Nationals, though. Austin Voth has quietly put up 10 strikeouts across 9 scoreless innings in his last 5 relief appearances. With Tanner Rainey struggling, Voth will likely start to see some hold opportunities in the near future if he keeps this up. Starting pitching performances from yesterday, I led with Dane Dunning for my daily SP Roundup. By the way, if I don't mention the starter that you wanted to hear, well, I do an article every single day on the site, pitchlist.com, of course. It's called the SP Roundup. It goes over every single starting pitching performance from yesterday's games. You should definitely be reading that, but here are a few of them. So Dane Dunning, 5 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 6 hits, 3 walks, and 10 strikeouts. Ooh, this was beautiful against the Mariners. The problem is I don't really love this long-term for Dunning. It's not a good schedule ahead, and it's not something where I think, oh, great, I will certainly hold on to Dunning and for the entire season. I kind of think he's just a guy that should be picked up off the waiver wire for these good matchups, and that's about it. You know, this almost was a terrible start, where through 4.2 innings, he had the bases loaded and almost allowed a grand slam and missed by about 10 feet or so, just foul. And then, of course, he got the out and ended the inning, 5 innings pitched instead of 6 earned runs and 2 earned runs. Okay, so Dane Dunning, not so much the guy that I want to go through or go with on my team. 10 strikeouts is very nice, but it's not really something that we should be expecting from him moving forward. Chris Paddock showed up again, 3 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, 4 hits, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. He was returning from the COVID IL, so he was limited under 60 pitches. This was really good. I mean, Chris Paddock threw, I think, his best fastball of the year. He was up in the upper third of the plate. Nice velocity on it, 95. Looked very, very tough to hit. That is the Paddock that we know. The question is he going to be stretched out properly now? He's a very nice schedule ahead. Is he going to take advantage of that? I hope he does. I mean, Chris Paddock, please come back to us. Please be the guy from 2019, and this may be actually the first sign of that to come. Lucas Giolito had a fine start, but we got to talk about this. 5 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 4 hits, 2 walks, and just 2 strikeouts against the Royals. His fastball velocity was 92.8. In 2020, it was 94 miles per hour. He hasn't really looked like himself lately. He had that one start where it was way too early in Boston. And then he had a start pushed back because he got a cut on his finger. So then fine, I said, you know what? Okay, he needs one extra start to get back into rhythm. This was the 4th start now. I'm running out of excuses. He's just not feeling his command at the moment. Fastballs and changeups were very much in the heart of the plate. The slider that I've waited to develop further and become this early strike getting offering, yeah, he can't really find the zone with it with consistency. It's off right now for Giolito. The question is he going to stay off? I don't know. We've had these conversations a lot this season. We've seen guys like Plesac, for example, rebound from that and be excellent again, but we've also seen Luis Castillo and Kenta Maeda not really lock in. So Lucas Giolito is obviously going to drop a little bit on the list today. If I am a betting man, well, I'm saying that Giolito is going to improve over time. But yeah, I understand your hesitation right now. And I understand that you don't necessarily want to go chasing after him in trading, say, Max Scherzer for him. I would rather have Max Scherzer at the moment. So he will fall on the list today, maybe underneath Woodruff as well. Hopefully Giolito does recover. Tyler Anderson is doing remarkable things. He went against the Cubs yesterday in 8 innings of 2 earned runs, 4 hits, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts. It's not a bad schedule for Anderson moving forward, too. Yeah, I guess we're kind of considering Anderson again. His whole thing is cutters, four-seamers, and changeups. Cutters and four-seamers get called strikes a ton. Actually, last year, if you remember, Tyler Anderson had a high CSW rate on four-seamers, like one of the, I think it was like top 15 or top 10. Kind of ridiculous. And then you have his changeup that misses bats away. He likes going inside to right-handers with that four-seamer and then going away with the changeup. It's working right now. It has worked in the past. It's just normally it comes with more blips and obstacles along the way, so it's just kind of not worth it for us to try and guess the night. But Tyler Anderson's kind of been in a groove, and you should start really considering this. Nate Pearson returned to the majors yesterday. We're all really excited about it, but it was the Astros. But hey, hopefully he could do something positive that made us encouraged. Not really. 2.1 innings, 3 earned runs, 4 hits, 5 walks, and not a single strikeout. How am I going to feed my family with this? Pearson, I do think, can obviously be this big upside play for your starting rotation. The Jays do need starters, so I think he will get more opportunities. But yeah, you don't want to be rushing to the waiver wire to get Nate Pearson right now. He is clearly not locked in, just like Daniel Lynch over the weekend. Shane Mcclanahan is another very interesting one, and you're not going to see a fun line, but there is a good thing to note here. 4 innings pitched, 3 runs for, it's 2 walks, 5 Ks against Oakland. 80 pitches thrown. And that's very exciting if you ask me, because it does seem like Mcclanahan could turn into that 5-inning guy now. And if he's getting 5 innings, that means he can get wins, which means then he's getting closer to 6 innings, which means he's getting closer to actually just being a proper starter for the Rays. And Mcclanahan stuff, it's still as good as ever. I would be holding on to Shane Mcclanahan wherever I have him. And last two, we have 2 guys that are disappointing right now. Kyle Hendricks, who had that great start against the Dodgers, 5 innings pitched, 4 runs, 9 hits, 1 walk, 3 Ks now against the Pirates. What? It's so frustrating to watch this. Only 86 on that sinker. We want to see 87, maybe even hinting at 88 on it. And his changeup. This is the pitch that everyone talks about. Oh, man, that changeup of Kyle Hendricks. Wow. 7% CSW. No, this is not it. And you have to think, that Dodgers start, was that kind of the rarity one? Actually, his changeup and curveball weren't great in that. It was more just on fastball command. That sinker going around the edges, good velocity on it, then took a step back against Pittsburgh. He gets another good matchup again. You gotta hope he figures it out. Zach Greinke also suffered. He went against the Jays, 4 innings pitched, 4 runs, 9 hits, 0 walks, and 4 strikeouts. I do believe that Zach Greinke this year is not going to be like a 4.5 ERA with a 1.31 WHIP or something like that. I do think he's going to be under a 4 ERA. I do think he's going to be underneath a 1.2 WHIP. And that means for your fantasy teams, you do want to have Zach Greinke. Jays are good. He's had a tough schedule. I really do think that you should be holding on to Zach Greinke and continue to start him. All right, looking forward to today. Here is Mark with the weather. Thanks, Mark. Today's streamer, it's a very short day. It's just 6 games. Martin Perez goes against the Orioles. Now, the Orioles are better against lefties, so this is a yellow highlight. I don't really want to do this, but it could be worse for Perez. He's done well in the past as a streamer. Hopefully, he can pull it off today. But that's going to do it for today. And remember, you should be watching 8:30 a.m., 11 a.m. every single weekday morning. I am live on Twitch. That is Eastern Time. Twitch.tv/PitcherList. I'm recording this live. You can ask all the questions you want. I know that I don't have as much time as I used to answer comments on the site and on Twitter, but I make myself incredibly accessible as my office hours here on Twitch. So just jump on in, ask a question. You can jump on out. It's fine. But I'm mostly answering questions on PL Plus and on Twitch these days. But that's going to do it. So my name is Nick Pollock, and that is everything you need to know.